o'clock for Judiciary B. So I'm gonna call up, and these are double referred bills. I'm gonna call up Senate Bill 2328 squatters, to the committee. We had in Judiciary A, we had 5 or 6 squatters bills. There's certainly an issue going on with this issue throughout the state. The bill that's before you is supported by the realtors. Also, as council has advised, addresses issues going on in Hinds County. And it provides notice and what I would call due process to address the issues going on with squatters. What's been explained to me is that actually, particularly in places like Oxford and other places, apparently it's people are coming in, even though there's a lease, it's tremendously hard to get people out. So that's what this bill does, and I will open it up to any questions. And do I have Senator Thompson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just curious, does this change the eviction statute? Or is this something totally separate? I guess eviction, you're evicting someone who had a right to be there.
I'm gonna let council address that.
It changes just a couple of provisions on the warrant of removal, just serving it. It codifies the correct practice that by far and away the majority of counties are following, but there are just a few outlier counties that don't. So that's at the end of the bill. The first part is a separate process that's done by the sheriffs. It's actually Florida passed this law last year.
So it's just, does it distinguish between folks who once had a right to be there and people who
Right.
don't have?
And then it also authorizes if for some reason the squatter or the person trying to be gotten out, there's a due process ability for that person to contact the sheriff. And if they do, then it writes those people into the eviction statute. So it allows the landlords to go through that process if the sheriff decides that it's needed.
Justice Court.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
What he said. And I'll clarify that. No, it is preserving those who have leases and all that. This is about people who are going around that process. I have a motion on the table, title sufficient, do pass. All in favor, say aye. All opposed. Okay, that passes, and that will go to Judiciary B. Next, I'm going to call up Senate Bill 2477. This is double referred to Jud A and appropriations. Find that in a second. This is supporting our district attorneys across the state. If you look at line 125, 126, the short of it is that it's connecting the district attorney salaries to the judges, making it 90% of the judges. And that provides, that's how it used to, for those that weren't here, that's how it used to be. For various reasons, it changed. And so the practical effect of that is, should we give raises to judges, then that would automatically take that. And as far as the money, that's why Chairman Hobson gets to chair appropriations. He gets to make that final decision. So any questions? Senator Turner Ford, and we'll take the questions. I do have a motion on the table, title sufficient, do pass.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So do we have an amount, or is it just the concept of the raise, how the raise?
So it's the concept of the raise. If you look at lines 125, I will let appropriations get into that should it pass, but it will raise from where the DAs are based on the judge's salary. I don't have the exact amount, but judges are making more than DAs, so it would raise it.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question? Okay. And the judges' raises would be by the legislature, not necessarily the judicial branch. Okay. Senator Simmons?
Yeah, yeah, one question. I know we have our chairman of appropriations in here, but I think a few years ago it was some concern about the chief justice, and please remind me, the chief justice uh sending an email to all the judges raising their salary, and then like the following year, I don't know if we had to actually do something different in the legislature. Is that a Breeze question? Okay.
And if Senator Chairman Hobson wants to do that, yes, that occurred. There was there was an interpretation by the executive branch, the judicial branch and the chief justice that they could do that without the legislature's approval. That was done. I think I'm safe in saying that caused a lot of wringing of hands and caused a lot of friction that I personally have had conversations with the Chief Justice. I think Chairman Hobson has had that. It caused a lot of problems. You know, I hope that we're past it. In fact, I feel like we're past that, but so this is, and to your point, the goal is that the legislature makes the raises through via this enacting legislation. What were the specifics of all that? I don't know. I just know that I personally have had those conversations with the Chief Justice that we've gone back and forth. I think if you're asking me, is that going to happen again? And while we're here, my take is it's not.
Well, I certainly thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your leadership, and certainly Chairman Hobson as well. One question: the ADA salaries, are we changing those? I know they were based upon experience, and they some kind of way corresponded with the DA salary.
Yeah. So if you look at, I think it's even in here.
Okay.
If you look at starting lines 127, the assistant DA salaries are tied to the district attorney, which, if I may say so, I think it's actually a very good structure of policy, because they're never going to make more than the DA, and it also rewards those who are experienced. And as you and I don't mind saying, years ago I was in that position, and I knew once I hit over 5 years or whatever, I got an automatic bump in pay. And when we do in the appropriations process, they meaning the DAs come to us and say it's a built-in step raise. So they tell us who is there. So that's all in that right there.
And one last comment before you take the motion, Mr. Chairman, to all of my judges out there and all my DAs, I don't have a problem with you getting a pay raise at all. But I do, Mr. Chairman, would like to take this opportunity to say that having a bill that deals with either investigators for our district attorney offices, or some kind of way where we should reward our DAs and our judges, which I'm in full support of. But I do think at some point this august body needs to look at pay raises for our state employees and other people who do that very invaluable service in state government. So I just want to make that comment. Thank you.
Chairman of Appropriations heard that. So thank you. Any other questions? Okay, the motion is title sufficient, do pass. All in favor say aye. All opposed, that carries and goes to appropriations. Next, I'll call up Senate Bill 2453. And the title, Statewide Uniform Youth Court System. This is a version of what we did last year. I would ask for a reverse repealer to place in here. The motion is for a reverse repealer. All in favor say aye. All opposed, that carries. Just to give the committee information, we had hearings where the judges came and testified. Senator Boyd and myself and others have worked to address the youth court issues. We had this afternoon's meeting, we'll have some other youth court bills coming before us. This allows us to, keep it going. And it does need work also. I look at it as a companion to the judicial redistricting. So, I will just say, I understand that in the bill, it has a breakdown of things. I would simply state that, it's a work in progress at this point on that. So with that, any questions? If not, do I have a motion? Motion is title sufficient, do pass committee substitute. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? That carries, and that will go to appropriations. Okay, have a rise and report. Rise, thank y'all very much.